Alright, cool beans. Hope you guys enjoyed that small montage. I'm Hex. I'm going to be going over my updated StamCro build for the Scribes of Fate patch. Two really strong haunts. A haunt that gives us basically a form of major protection. And if that wasn't enough, a burst heal. Built-in burst heal that makes us tankier. When you start tilting your enemies and they start playing poorly, you can turn and burn on them with the ridiculous combo that is Blasty's Wrecking Blow Dawnbreaker combo and just absolutely burst them into oblivion. But how exactly do we get this strong build in order? Stick around to the end and I'll show you exactly how. But before we get started, forget that the subscribe and like button really does go a long way and I greatly do appreciate it. Also leave a comment what you guys want to see next. But without further ado, let's blast these our way into the build. Alright, so for the first skill we do run Race Against Time. Obviously, this is how we get our snare muted. It just happens to get Major Expedition and Minor Force. The reason we're running on the front bar is because, well, we don't have much room on the back bar. Trust me, well, too many good skills on that back bar. We'll get that in a little bit. Next skill is what I would consider your flex spot. I like Turn Evil. This is my on-demand stun because without Turn Evil, your only stun is Dawnbreaker, and I don't like that. I like having stand pressure on my opponents at all times. Also grants minor protection and minor endurance. A fear for 4 seconds and passes for having slotted. So obviously there are some many alternatives. If you want, you could run Rally, you know, get an extra heal, that way you don't have to run the pots that I do. You could run tripods with this. Or the main one that most of you might like is Camo Hunter. Being able to get that minor berserk on that front bar, really strong. Up to you personally, but I prefer Turn Evil. That stun, amazing. Next we do run Executioner. This is basically our execute. The lower health they are, the harder we hit. Next skill we do run is Stalking Blastbones. I prefer the Magmorph. The Magmorph 100% my go-to. The fact that it does flame damage against vampires already got me sold, and it can do bonus damage. Like, that's the reason I prefer bonus damage over the other morph. But if you want to run the other morph, perfectly fine. Just know that this one more than likely is going to hit way harder than the other one. Next skill we do run is Wrecking Blow. So we did switch to Wrecking Blow, and honestly, it has its pros and cons. Does it hit really hard? Yes, this thing hits absolutely so hard. The only problem is you do not know how important that utility snare and stun from Dizzy and Swing was until I started using Wrecking Blow, but either one's fine. Next for ultimate, obviously we run Dawnbreaker Smiting. Hits really extremely hard in a cone in front of us and a nasty dodge just in case they're able to tell the tale of the Dawnbreaker. For our back bar we do run Summoner's Armor. Please run this morph. The other morph I really don't like. What this morph does, it makes our Spirit Mender and Blasties cost 50% less. But obviously this is just our armor buff that can drop a corpse. Next we do run Mortal Coil. This is a really potent heal. And fun fact, I didn't know this heal actually scales off your offensive stats. And this thing is pretty cheesy on the heal, and the regen you get from this is amazing. And if that wasn't enough, you get a passive, just 3% more healing done on this bar. Just here you go. Next we do run is Resolving Vigor. This is obviously our burst hot, heal out over 5 seconds and grants us minor resolve. Next we do run Spirit Guardian. This is basically a small hot, a unique form of basically major protection, 10% damage mitigation. And next we do run is Resistant Flesh. This is our bread and butter burst heal. Heals us a lot, puts minor defile on us. But if you're getting zerged over with all the Plague Break, Lethal Arrow, more than likely you're already gonna have minor defile anyway, so why does it matter? And next is Ravenous Goliath. I actually just love having this. This is an emergency ulti. Basically when we're getting absolutely zerged over, pop this skill, basically immortal, and you could actually turn and burn on some people with this. Alright, but enough of that. Let's go to the stat sheets. So our stat sheets, max stats 15.3k on max stam, max health almost 34k, wow, max stam over 23.3k, and our recov is fully buffed. Look at that, mag recov over 1654, and our stam recov is over 2300 when within our rune. Weapon damage is at 4943, weapon crit at 30.5%, and our penetration is just shy of 11k. This can actually go up with Battle Orcs and Titan more, which I'll show towards the end. But now everybody wants to see the fully proc damage. Look at that, physical and spell penetration over 26k, and our weapon damage is over 6k. Absolutely crazy. Now let's check our resist on our back bar real quick. Spell resist at 29.5k, and our physical resist is at 28.8k, and our crit resist is at 2082. Really tanky. For the attributes, I do put 24 points in the health and 40 points in the stam. Pretty much just how I round out all my builds. For the food, we do run good old Jewels of Mithril, letting you know that you can just run Jewels of Mithril and it works perfectly fine. Obviously, if you got deep pocket or don't mind spending a little extra, or Zoc with Smoke Bear Haunch, gives you 400 more max health and very little more reco. And for the Mundus, the Thief. Always run the Thief on this build. Our crit is at 30%. Without it, it would be 24%. You know me, and you know that I love crit. And obviously, we are a Stage 3 Vampire for one simple passive. Undeath. The lower health we are, the tankier we become. And for my race, I am an Imperial. Honestly, I feel like Imperial is hands down the best open world stam race out there. We get access to tough, increases our max health by 2k, the most max health you can get from a racial passive. Imperial Metal increases your max stam by 2k. And my favorite of them all, Red Diamond, reduces the cost of all your abilities by 6%. That includes all our regular abilities, mag stam, health, ultimates, and our CC breaks, roll dodge, and block. This basically almost negates the cost increase of Vampire. So good alternatives, Orc could be really good, Wood Elf could be pretty good, Dark Elf, maybe. Khajiit, not really on this build since we're not really expecting a high crit, so to say. But obviously any race could work, but those are preferably the best ones. If not, when in doubt, Imperial out for Stam. Alright, but enough of that, let's go over the sets now. Alright, so for the first set we do run good old Wretched Vitality. I mean, Wretched Vitality is basically a staple on almost all my Stam builds. Being able to increase our stamina and magic recovery by a base 390, that's base. What I mean by that is you can add an extra 30% from pots, 15% from miners. Think about this, it lets us go full offensive on our jewelry, plus it's back barrable. Like this, trust me, if you have not ran this set, just run it once and you will never go back, trust me. And for the monster set we do run is good old Battle Orcs. I mean, Battle Orcs is pretty much kind of mandatory on this build. Gives us a lot of weapon and spell damage and a lot of penetration, making sure that when we drop a dawnbreaker, we're instantly gonna delete somebody. And what I like about Battle Orcs is the more ulti you hold, the more weapon and spell damage and pen you get. Truly a powerful monster set. Obviously, we do run One Piece training because this is a meta front bar back bar setup with a mythic. Why One Piece training? Because we do have one slot available, so why not slot training? And what mythic is that? I mean, come on. Don't even ask. Markin, Ring of Majesty, obviously. This is pretty much going to be a staple on all my builds if possible. What exactly does it do? With this build, you just put this ring on. With this build, you get 200 weapon and spell damage and over 2300 armor. Just here you go for free. Don't even have to think. And for the main set we do run is my pride and joy, my baby, Titanborn. I absolutely love Titanborn. Any way I could put Titanborn on, I'm always going to say yes to this set. Up to 110 weapon and spell damage and up to 1240 offense pen. If you are below 75% health, that actually doubles to 220 weapon and spell damage and basically almost 2500 pen. But if you are under 50% health, that quadruples the original. So at under 50% the max, we get up to 440 weapon and spell damage and basically almost 5k penetration. That's what I like about this. The thing is, we are using Wrecking Blow, so before we even get to hit off, we're already getting zerged over. So we're going to take a lot of hits already. So more than likely, you're going to be at 75% health. Just the 50% health is icing on the cake. Obviously, some strong alternatives, because if you don't want to farm this set, trust me, I understand that. You could possibly run Spriggans. Spriggans could be pretty good on this. Alright, so the way we run it. So on the front bar, we do run a Titanborn Mar with an Azor Stam enchant with Sharpen. You can see that we are triple dipping into pen, because in PvP, penetration is keen. So for the back bar, we do run a Resto Staff of Wretched Vitality. Honestly, Resto, you know me, I love Restos. People sleep on this. Being able to get 30% more mag from our heavies. Getting major mending, increasing our healing by 16% after a fully charged heavy. And probably the most slept on passive, honestly, is Restoration Expert. With the Resto Staff equipped, increases your healing by 15% on allies under 30%. That includes yourself. And for this, we actually run poisons. The Escapist poison. Honestly, these poisons were really good and really annoying for my opponents. So basically, if your enemy is not root immune, you are able to root them and you grant unstoppable on yourself. Basically getting CC immunity for almost 4 seconds and rooting them for 4 seconds. So what was good about these poisons is while I was charging my heavy, at any tick, the first tick or the last tick, I could proc this. And this would prevent me from getting CC'd out of my heavy for when I need that juicy mag back. Honestly, these poisons were really good. So the way we run it, we do have a heavy head of Battle Orcs, heavy chest of Wretched Vitality, heavy shoulders of Balorgs, a light sash of Wretched Vitality, medium hands of Wretched Vitality, medium legs of Titanborns, and a medium feet of Titanborn, all with Tri-Stat enchants. And for the traits, 1 reinforce, 6 Empan. Yes, 1 reinforce, 6 Empan. The only reinforce I have is a heavy chest of Wretched Vitality reinforced. And for the jewelry, we do run a Titanborn neck, ring of the trainee, and a marker and ring of majesty because it only comes in a ring. Duh. So I actually did change the traits. I do run 2 bloodthirsty, 1 infused, all weapon and spell damage enchants with stam recup. Obviously, if you have the ones with some mag recup or all mag recup, won't make or break the build. Honestly, I wouldn't even mind some extra mag recup on this build since we do use both. But honestly, 2 bloodthirsty, you know, that undead passive, well, it's good for us, makes us tankier, but the thing is, enemies become tankier too. So bloodthirsty kind of almost negates that undeath passive. But if you are using this from last patch, you could just go all infused, honestly, perfectly fine. And for the food we do run, good old Jewels of Misrule. Gives us a lot of maxed health and recap of everything. But obviously, if you got deep pockets, or don't mind spending a little extra, or Zofka's Smoke Bear Haunch gives you 400 more health and 12 more mag and stam recap. Yeah, you heard that right. And for the pots we do run, these are actually very important. We do run the weapon power pots. Basically, this is how we get our 20% weapon damage and 12% crit. You can either craft them yourself, or you can just buy the ones from the AP vendors. Either one's fine, they do the exact same thing. Alright, but enough of that, let's go over the CP now. For the blue CP, we do run Fighting Finesse, increases our critical damage, critical healing. Focus Bending, increases our healing done when single target heals, which is basically our whole kit almost. Master at Arms, increases your damage done with direct damage attacks. And Ironclad, reduces your damage taken by direct damage attacks. For the red CP, typical Hex Seal of Approval red CP. Celerity, increases our movement speed by 10%, honestly in my opinion, the best CP in the entire game. Survival Instincts, well, if there's a status effect, your core combat spells cost up to 25% less. Relentlessness, being stunned or fear causes you to gain major protection for 3 seconds. And Pain's Refuge, the more negative effects we have active on us, the tankier we become. And for the green CP, doesn't ever really matter. Rationer, Liquid Efficiency, Gift the Rider, and Seed's Blessing. But alright, cool beans, that's the build. Hope you guys did enjoy it. Honestly, StamCro, what makes a StamCro is the healing. The healing is insane. If you don't want to die, you can honestly say, you know what, I'm not going to die, I'm just going to play defensive, just leave me alone. That's pretty much what you want to do. If you want to stay alive, and if they let their guard down, you can honestly burst them into oblivion. That's what I love. But as always, hope you guys did enjoy the build video. Like the video if you liked it, comment your thoughts or experiences with the build. Also, anything I might have missed out, what video I should do next. Subscribe for more, but most importantly, stay Zerging.